This is the Scuba Educational Alliance Ocean Podcast, Episode 27. The Scuba Educational Alliance Ocean Podcast is a bi-weekly podcast dedicated to the world of scuba diving, ocean health, sustainability, and fostering a new generation of ocean stewards through diving education. Hello again, everyone, and once again I want to thank you for tuning into the podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Sinterpino, founder and president of the Scuba Educational Alliance of Connecticut, and we are fostering a new generation of ocean stewards by breaking down the financial barriers that young people face when pursuing scuba diving training and education. And along that lines, I'd like to give you an update on our progress in 2025. As I've mentioned before here on the podcast, we sponsored 3 scholarships this year. 2 of the scholarships were for 2 young women who have been able to do their advanced open water diver course and continue on their journey as ocean advocates. And most recently, our open water training scholarship winner finished up his open water certification and is off and running. We are very proud of our winners, and we are certain as they continue on, they will be a new generation of ocean stewards. We are also looking to sponsor a coral conservation class in December this year in cooperation with Scuba Shack here in Newington, Connecticut. This is going to be open to all because we want to make sure as many people as possible understand the importance of coral reefs and also the threats they are facing. So I've been doing the Scuba Educational Alliance Ocean Podcast for more than a year now. I'm still trying to build traction, and to be honest, it has been slower than I anticipated. While my previous podcast, Scuba Shack Radio, wasn't huge, it did have a good following. I thought that would be a solid base for launching this new one. Now, I'm not one to back away from a challenge, and I'm still committed to doing the Scuba Educational Alliance Ocean Podcast. But I also know that sometimes you need to change things up. So with that in mind, I'm going to stop with the Sea State news and information updates. I'm not going to do that anymore. For one thing, I'm guessing that the updates are perhaps a little dated since I only do the show every 2 weeks. And that might be distracting from the primary mission of the podcast. I'm hoping that by focusing on a single topic, the show will resonate better and become more valuable to everyone who listens. It will also be a little shorter than the normal 20 minutes, and maybe that will get more folks on board. Sometimes change is necessary. With that background, today once again I want to focus on a serious peril for the oceans: climate change. Recently, the American Meteorological Society, or AMS, released a special supplement to the AMS Bulletin on August 8, 2025, titled The State of the Climate in 2024. But before we discuss this bulletin a little more, let's take a look at some other information related to how climate change is impacting the oceans around the world. This information comes from NASA. Now, a few weeks ago, there was a story out that the acting director of NASA, who is also the Secretary of Transportation, is moving NASA in a different direction when it comes to the work that they are doing on climate change. Remember, if you don't like the results, change the rules and avoid the scientific data. But this information has already been made public on the NASA website. Just how long it stays out there, I'm not sure. But the web page is titled Climate Change in the Ocean. There were 7 items listed on the page, and I thought it would be good to summarize these items, and you can draw your own opinions. So here they are. Number 1, the ocean is warming. 90% of the excess heat from global warming is absorbed by the oceans, and 2023 was a record for ocean temperature. Their summary: the ocean has a fever. Number 2, sea levels are rising. Since 1992, globally, sea levels have risen 4 inches due to the fact that warmer water expands, plus there has been extreme melting of the ice sheets. Now, 4 inches doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a big deal when it comes to coastal flooding, especially a phenomenon known as high tide flooding. That's when just normal high tides are now causing damage. Number 3, the ocean is getting a little greener. You see, there are these increased photoplanktons, which are microscopic plant-like organisms. They are increasing because of the warmer water. Number 4, ocean warming is altering hurricanes. When you factor in the warmer water and the rising sea levels, we get a double-barreled impact. The hurricanes are getting stronger with rapid intensification, and we've seen that just recently. And there are very large storm surges. Number 5, ocean acidification and heating are altering marine ecosystems. The most impacted are coral reefs, obviously with the ongoing bleaching events. Plus, the marine life is being impacted. Shelf growth is also affected by the acidification. Number 6, sea ice is thinning and shrinking. Warmer water is melting the ice from below, warm air is melting it from above, and because there is less reflection, the pace of melting and warming is accelerated. And number 7, ocean circulations may be changing. The influx of fresh water from the melting disrupts the balance of salinity and temperature on the deep ocean currents. This is probably less understood by most people, but could be one of the worst impacts if some of these currents collapse. So that's how NASA sees it, or should I say, saw it, because I don't think we're going to be getting the same level of information going forward. So where do we turn? It is going to have to be the scientific community outside of our federal government. Maybe organizations like the American Meteorological Society and their report on the state of the climate 2024. The report is an international peer-reviewed publication that is released each summer and is based on contributions from scientists around the world. It is a detailed update on global climate indicators, notable weather events, and data collected by environmental monitoring stations and instruments on land, water, ice, and in space. Well, it used to be from space anyway. Let's see what happens there. This latest assessment is the 35th annual assessment that was first done in 1996. Now, this is a very dense report covering 527 pages, and it is thick with scientific terms and data. And I'm certainly no meteorologist, but still you can get the picture pretty clearly, at least from what I read. The climate is changing. Now, graphics are always a good way to summarize a lot of information, and they have a really good one in the introduction. It is titled Selected Significant Climate Anomalies and Events, Annual 2024. Right at the top is global average temperature, and from January through December 2024, global surface temperature was the highest since global records began in 1850. And when it comes to the oceans, the figure states that global ocean surface temperature was record warm for 15 consecutive months, from April 2023 through June 2024, and was record warm for 2024. The Arctic 2024 minimum sea ice extent was 7th smallest on record, while the 2024 Antarctic maximum sea ice extent was the 2nd lowest on record. The Great Lakes were persistently warmer than average, with historically low mid-February ice coverage. Now, Section 3 of the assessment is about the global oceans and the state of the climate in 2024. It covers sea surface temperatures, sea surface salinity, subsurface salinity, wind stress, sea level variability, surface currents, and a whole lot more detailed scientific data. I already noted that ocean surface temperature was record warm. The global annual sea surface temperature, or SST, was 0.06 degrees Celsius above the previous record set in 2023. It just keeps getting warmer. Marine heat waves in 2024 were more widespread, longer lived, and severe than previous years. I should note that a marine heat wave is described as 5 or more consecutive days above 90% of the daily climatology. Little complicated, I guess, but maybe not. 91% of the global oceans experience at least one marine heat wave. So the evidence is there in this assessment that the oceans are under stress from the fact that the world is getting hotter. There are detailed sections of the assessment on the tropics, the Arctic, the Antarctic, and the Southern Oceans, and a final section on regional climate. So I naturally went to the North American section, specifically the United States. Well, there was no surprise here. The annual average temperature for the contiguous United States in 2024 was 13.1 degrees Celsius or 55.8 degrees Fahrenheit, making that the warmest year in the 130-year record. It paints a pretty dramatic picture when you look at all the red in the heat map. Now, just the other day, I heard President Trump talk at the United Nations, and he told the world leaders that, in his opinion, climate change was the greatest con job in the world. These are his words. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost the countries fortune and given those same countries no chance for success. You be the judge on those statements. Right now in 2025, the fact stands. The ocean is getting warmer, the ice is melting, sea levels are rising, hurricanes are getting stronger, and the ocean is turning more acidic. The con job is telling people that it isn't because the climate is changing. We have the scientific data as outlined in the 2024 AMS State of the Climate. We also have decades of information to tell us we are heating up the planet, and it is happening faster, accelerating to the point where the oceans will no longer be sustainable. That's not the future I want to see. As a scuba diver and ocean advocate, I want to see a healthy and vibrant ocean. I want to see fish and coral reefs thriving. I want to see a future where we acknowledge that climate change is real and that we can apply a worldwide resolve to meet the challenges and implement the solutions needed. We know what they are. We just need leadership to move us forward to a better future when it comes to climate change. What do you think? Well, that wraps up this latest episode of the Scuba Educational Alliance Ocean Podcast. A bit of a change as I continue to evolve the show, making it a little shorter with a singular focus within each episode. I hope you like the change. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll be back again in a couple of weeks with more. Until then, stay safe and healthy. Bye. This has been the Scuba Educational Alliance Ocean Podcast, a show dedicated to the world of scuba diving, ocean health, sustainability, and fostering a new generation of ocean stewards through diving education. Talk to you again real soon.